Let's do this.
One eternity later.
You know what time it is?
Later that same evening.
Oh my god! Another one.
Boom.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Alright guys, it's the challenge. It's the crazy white tower drop. That's the victory screech. That was from the last game. We just beat Byzantines. I'm going to queue up for the next one. Let's just see if we can get Conqueror 2. We managed to get Conqueror 1 up to now. I'm just showing you guys how ridiculously broken this build order is. And this kind of strategy. Now bear in mind, there's a guy called Berliner in chat. I have to give a lot of credit to him because I was kind of playing around with the build. I wasn't like super optimizing it. I was a bit lazy on that front. I was kind of touchy-feeling about it. But Berliner came up with a very fully optimized build, and I'm going to try and do it justice. I'm sure I'm going to make some mistakes here and there, but either way. And so if you have any abuse to hurl at anyone, he's the guy also. Okay, I'm just the messenger. I'm just the guy like doing it. And we may start to release some guides about how to stop this, about certain villages. In fact, let's talk about it now. So if you're thinking about how to stop this, there are some civilizations where you can't do it against anyway. The Mongols is one. The French is very difficult to do it against. Like, it comes down to scouting, right? So if you're a diamond player, gold player coming up against this scout, you need to find out what the heck your opponent's doing. And if you're expecting the drop, make units. That's what you have to do. Make units, get yourself prepared. If you're playing as the Byzantines, be ready to hit the Akratoy button in your cistern for your villagers to fight with. If you're playing any other civilization, make units to try and stop the villagers. Try and intercept them on the way. It's scouting. That's really important. Scouting, scouting, scouting. In fact, you know, I'm doing you guys a favor, all right? If you're playing in diamond level, gold level, and you're thinking, how do I stop this? I'm doing you a favor if you're up against the English. You know why? I'm forcing you to scout. You can thank me later. It's absolutely fine.
One eternity later.
Good luck, he says. Yeah, I should have replied back. I didn't leave enough time. We're up against an English mirror, so this is actually really tough. The reason why, of course, they can get lots of longbows out nice and early, but also if they do go for the standard play as the English, which is 2TC into like Abbey Kings into 2TC, it can be problematic. So let's get the two villages off onto gold. Want to build the house. And now let's try, what we want to do, we want to find the deer pack as much as possible. There it is, as quickly as possible. There we go. We found it already. Nice start, eh? I'm going to push in the deer as well. Let's get that villager over to the deer camp as well. And go from there. So you want to build the buildings with only one villager, really. There's no need to build it with two. It just reduces the efficiency. This build is very much about efficiency. It's all about timing. If you don't quite get the timing and you get scouted out, that's how people kill you on this build. So, you know, you have to be careful of that. So we only want one villager building the mill, ideally. Everyone else can start gathering food. And we want to start to get the villagers over to food very quickly. So we want to aim up to 10 on food. So that's going to be 6 villagers to food now, essentially. Let's push some of these villagers over to this deer camp, this deer carcass, so it doesn't push it any further away. Get survival techniques instantaneously. We start killing these deer. Right, so going up against the English is kind of be tricky. We're going to try our best and see what we can do. Let's scout out and see what we can find. Try and deny sheep from our opponent. But to be honest with you, if the strategy doesn't work, sheep, not really important. Because if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, we're not really going to be going into sheep because you're probably dead. So aiming for 10 on food. Survival techniques is in, which is nice and quick. And then once we do get 10 villagers on food in total, we're going to send one villager to gold to make 3 on gold. And then, you know, when the time comes in, I'll tell you what to do next. Now, the reason why I like cliffside is because you're both quite close to each other. So wheelbarrow is not even necessary in this build, in this particular map. That's something to bear in mind. What you want to do is build your white tower where your enemy's wood line is. Or a wood line. Not so much because you want to deny it. I mean, you can deny it if that's great if you can deny it. But the perfect thing that you want to do is get a wood line for yourself on the front position, because you want the villagers that are building the white tower to then mine wood to get those very annoying rams. And you can even consider getting a mangonel with a couple of villagers on gold, but that's kind of later on the game, depending on how things are turning out. Speaking of turning out, we've got 10 villagers on food now, so we're going to send 1 to gold to get 3 on gold in total. There we go. And now the next villager coming out should technically be able to build the landmark. We're going to rally him to wood first, just in case we can't afford it. And then the villager after that will go to wood anyway, so I'm just going to unqueue a villager there. No, it might be a bit short on gold, yeah. Because we possibly should have built the house with the villager building or going for the food. That's actually something that Deblina did mention in chat. But I guess it depends on how quickly you can find the deer camp. We found it quite early, so that's hence why that's... Oh, got the villager garrison inside. That's not what we wanted. What we do want to find is where our guys' stuff is at. So 1 on wood, because we need to build a house, right? And then we're going to get the next villagers to gold. So 9 on gold in total. Now the big concern that I have is if we're up against Council Hall, Longbowman Rush, this could be an issue, and that's exactly what's happening. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off a couple of villagers off of food and go to gold. This is not ideal. This is not really what we want to be doing, but if we don't get the gold we need, we're never going to be able to take up. So this is not really what we want, but we're going to make some adjustments here. And in terms of where we place the landmark, that looks like a decent spot, if any. Especially with that wheelbarrow, it's not ideal. Better build a house soon and work from there. But I'm really keen on getting the gold we need here. Because it's going to be very... The gold is very far forward, right? We could drop an outpost, we don't have the wood for it. That's the big problem. So I'm a little bit scared about the situation, right? So let's get the wood we need for the house. And let's actually build the house over... Let's get the... So we're not really going to prioritize the king as much. We do want to keep building the landmark because we don't want to run too late on that. So we have deterred from the build order. This is something that we just have to do it sometimes, and I think it's worth doing now because I don't want to lose the game ideally. We're running the risk of losing it if the longbows pop out soon. Now, if you get the king out nice and early enough, maybe there's a way to make it work. But because the build is so optimal, the king is quite late. So we just need quite a decent amount of gold, actually, to be fair. We need to aim for 700 gold because we need to get textiles. So keep our scout forward, try and delay the longbows as much as possible. We might be caught short, guys. This could be dicey. This could be very, very dicey. We definitely want textiles as well because the short bows is a problem. Let's go for barracks, which is actually really good for us. It kind of delays his wood a little bit. The question, can we actually place the White Tower there? I'm not so sure we can. We'll have to see at some point. So we're almost there. Oh, so Daisy, the garrison side is kind of wrong. I want to go for the food there. Let's go for the deer camp. He spots it now, so he will be heading that position somewhat soon. So I believe it's 3125 according to Deblina. There we go. Let's drop that off and get back onto food now. Everyone on food, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So certainly that there's definitely a delay here, and that's fine. Now what we want to think about is this guy's being passive, right? So possibly he's thinking about Castle Age, possibly he's just thinking about building a force before he moves on out, and that's understandable. That's very reasonable. What we have to try and do and think about is where the heck is his units? It must be on the other side, right? Where the heck are his units? King is on the field now. Just about getting wood, actually. Let's get 5 on wood. Because we want that house. I need to find out... This is where we wanted our White Tower. That's not going to happen anymore. Is he not making units? And we're going to have to just go soon. It's got an outpost there. So that really limits our options now. We may have to just go there. Not much of an option, I think. That's okay, to an extent. Let's just go. It's just a bit too far away, right? So I think we go there. Should be okay. We didn't get textiles. That's a problem. Let's get textiles. That's one way to throw a game, I guess. Let's try and be annoying on this side and just distract him, ideally. Now you can use a bit of formation shuffling to annoy and get the villagers to move a bit faster. Of course, we don't have wheelbarrow, which is a bit painful sometimes, but it is what it is. I'm going to build the White Tower there now. It's a bit farther away than we maybe would have wanted, but you have to be careful with the town centre range, right? So now he's going to know this is happening. Now, he is going to try and torch this down, which is definitely not the right move. I mean, possibly going to try and focus down the villagers, which is fine. Let's annoy him here. And to be honest, we probably want to annoy the villagers that are hitting us, but it is what it is. Going to be the scale, unfortunately. Now this goes up. There's no way he stops that. And we do want to get new villagers over to wood. Let's get 4 on food because we do want to maintain... We'll start getting wood because we need a lumber camp pretty big actually. So in fact, we're just gonna... Alright, he taps out. Understandably so. I mean, obviously we would love to have had it a bit more of a fight, but it is what it is. I mean, ultimately, the way this game pans out from here, you would get rams and push on in. You just want to focus everyone on wood, get a lumber camp nice and early, get rams. If you're forced into it, go on to gold so you can get mangonel. Now, don't underestimate the power of a mangonel. Because what could happen? You can get your villagers or your rams to try and take out the town center. The enemy might use their villagers to torch down the ram. But hey, if you've got a mangonel, it's very problematic. What you want to do is aim for 200 on gold to do that. You might also want to think about getting the... There we go. There we go. Mission passed, exactly. So you might want to think about getting the double broadaxe upgrade as well if you can afford it, just to pump out even more rams. But I'd say focus on a mangonel first because that's a prize unit for this. So GG. And that should take us up to Conqueror level 2. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. I know it's a bit of a dicey one. It's going to upset a lot of people. But we may release a video about how we counter this and stop it. And then maybe we might be able to get up to Conqueror 3. We'll have to see. If you love this content, you want to see it live, visit me on Twitch. Take care, and see you next time.